Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. What are you gonna do when the Super Brothers are back for you to talk Superman? It's the Superman spoiler review show, guys. Welcome on in. James, how you doing, my friend?
Oh my gosh. I feel rusty. Is this the camera?
Yeah, which camera do we look at here? We didn't even know how to set up the cameras earlier, like on Discord. I was like, how do I do this? I can't show my camera for some reason.
I know, right?
But it's been a minute. It's been a dog's age, but we had to get together to talk about this movie that we've been talking about forever.
For a long time, bro.
Since the first image came out of David Cornsweet in the suit, sitting on his armchair, putting his boots on, and we saw that glowing thing. We find out what it is, what that glowing ball was outside of his apartment window. We're like, what is that? Is it Bizarro? Is it? We didn't know who it was, and here we are, finally talking about the movie that finally came out last week. Was it last Thursday? It feels like it's been out forever, but like we're like, let's wait, take some time for people to see it, and then we can just talk about it. And I am just ready. Of course, guys, if you guys are at home watching and haven't seen it yet, don't worry, we'll post this all on YouTube later so you guys can hang out and comment and let us know what your thoughts. But we're gonna go full spoilers on this, full spoilers. So I guess the first question is, James, how many times did you see it?
Man, great question. So I paid to see it once, and that was the Tuesday Amazon Fandango thing. So that was one time, and then I've seen it 2 times more this past weekend with my brother-in-law and father. So 3 times.
Man,
I've seen this movie. How about you?
You got me by one. First time was Thursday night. Because you texted me like your ticket and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go see it. I was on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how'd he go? Like, is he a WB partner too? Like, he's getting these exclusive screenings? I'm like, I didn't know. Then I found out later, like Prime people were getting early access. I'm like, I didn't know about this. So I'm like, I gotta wait till Thursday, like all the other humans. So I went on that Thursday night with my brother-in-law and my good pal Andrew Robinson. Went to AMC in Boston. Very good time. I had to stop myself from getting the popcorn bucket. I saw the Daily Planet newspaper box, and I'm like, next time, baby, next time. It's huge. It's a big popcorn bucket, almost as big as the Galactus popcorn bucket. But
a great bucket.
So went that first time, and then so I couldn't go with Lee because Lee had to work that evening, and she wasn't really like ready for Superman. But then when I saw it the first time, I'm like, Lee's gonna love this movie for Crypto alone.
True,
so
true.
I saw it a second time with her, I believe a few nights ago, and she absolutely loved it. So I was like, it was a good thing to watch it twice, because we did a double feature. We did How to Train Your Dragon, which I was talking to you about in your chat, because we saw Nick Frost as Craig Ferguson's character, and I was like, that's Hagrid. Right. That's definitely Hagrid. Yeah. I was sold after seeing that. So 2 times for me. Both times I cried, I laughed, and had a amazing time. But before we get into it, let's say hi to the chat here. I'm seeing AK Robinson is here, who I went to go see it the first time with. Welcome in. I'm seeing Chica. I'm seeing Jerry. I'm seeing Stargazer Tim, Merle himself, and Stacy's here. Oh, Cinemark was selling Crypto Dog Bowl popcorn buckets. Oh, I wish I wish I would have got that one. So many good buckets. Crazy Legs Tim in here. Are you talking about How to Train Your Superman? that's like the Barbenheimer thing, the How to Train Your Superman.
I like that.
A part of me wishes that, it's pretty close, but man, if we had Superman and Fantastic Four the same weekend, that would have been a fun double feature.
It would have been for sure.
Like America's first superhero versus Marvel's first family. I think that would have been a good combination. But we got that next week, so that could be a whole other show. Who knows? Because that's another one that we're waiting very much for. Josh is here. If I didn't say hi to you, give me a yo in the chat. Again, we're going to talk full spoilers about Superman. This is a movie we've been waiting for a long time. Directed by James Gunn. The first, not technically first if you count Creature Commandos. That was kind of the first DC thing. Peacemaker as well, but this is like the first film we have out, and it definitely delivered. I'm trying to find numbers though about the box office, because I know it did very well. Let's see, box office.
I know they had the highest Tuesday and Wednesday box office totals of the year so far this week.
That's insane.
Tuesday and Wednesday. Yep.
Let's see. 122 million for that domestically opening weekend, which it's got to be half of it's got to be me. No, it's but yeah, it was, because I'm trying to remember, like, because I hate to compare, but of course we got to compare. Like I'm trying to think of the numbers that Man of Steel opened with, because I feel like we were excited for Man of Steel for the most part. Most people were. So
I know total it crossed like 600 million worldwide, like during its run. But opening box office for Man of Steel domestically. Let me see. I know it did well. 125 million.
Ooh, just gets beat here. Look at that. Okay. Yeah. Gracious. Okay. So yeah, I think we're going to be doing a lot of this talk of like the comparison, but like try not to, because it's two different things. Sure. Snyderverse ended very abruptly and ended with very positive Superman news for us, and then quickly was taken away from us the week after, when we were told that Henry would come back for more Superman action, but really just it wasn't true. And then we got this new kid, David Cornsweet, who were like, okay, he looks the part, can he be the part? And I think to start this review, I gotta say that was Superman for me. In many ways, because I feel like we've gotten away from what Superman is for a while, because being ready for Superman, I was in a DC mood, of course, so I went on HBO Max and I'm watching like the animated show, I'm watching old movies, and and I'm looking at all the Superman stuff they have. Besides the original movies with Reeves, a lot of very dark Superman stories. Mm-hmm. Like you're looking at Red Sun, you're looking at Injustice. Even Man of Steel was kind of dark, So so this was such a big, refreshing taste of Superman again, from like the true origins, I feel, of Superman, because Superman is the ultimate babyface, the ultimate good guy, and James Gunn understood the assignment for that. You know what I mean? Like, this guy is saving squirrels. He's like he is the kindest, and he just cares about doing good. The big tagline that came out of this movie is kindness is the new punk rock, and that really is what should be on the poster. Kindness is the new bar. Like, that was a bar. That gave me goosebumps when I heard it. Like, it was insane. So I really think David Cornsweet as Superman, to me, was the purest Superman we've gotten in a very, very long time. And we'll go into further detail about why that is, but let me go to you, James, to get your kind of first takes on Cornsweet as Superman and your thoughts a bit on the movie as a whole.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. when we first saw the actor, I remember Friggin Nerds talking about it during the podcast. And like David Cornsweet, like I never heard of this guy, and like he didn't seem that big, but it's like obviously he's going to bulk up. And comparing him to then to now, and just seeing him in the role, like there's a certain Christopher Reeves-esque approach that he brought to the character, and the key thing is just kindness, just doing good and never tire of doing good. And even he tweeted during the opening week leading into like that last Thursday and last Friday, where he said, I hope the movie encouraged people to take the extra step of doing good things, helping a fellow neighbor and everything like that. So dude totally understood the assignment, and you could see it just in his portrayal of Clark and, of course, Kal-El, aka Superman. But even more so to me, during the behind the scenes and interviews leading up to the press junket and the premiere, the answer he gave regarding the character, he just understood it, and it was shown with that character. So he was a definite highlight for sure, and everything about him I enjoyed. And the movie as a whole was just a good time, and it was tight too. Like 2 hours flew by like that to me, and so that was fun to enjoy. And like I told you earlier, like I left the theater smiling all 3 times. Like you just feel good about yourself when it was just a fun time, and it's definitely an experience to watch in IMAX if you have it nearby. For sure.
Yeah, it felt like it didn't feel like your typical superhero movie in certain ways, where it's like, yeah, of course, it's a big bad. You're going to take care of Lex Luthor. He's doing these wacky things. You also have the side story of, Superman dealing with, the war in the all that Bravia, which we ends up spoiler being because of Lex and everything and all that. And but it didn't feel like it was, because someone told me that James Gunn's original idea was this movie was going to be a week in the life of Superman, and the whole movie was going to be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
He had it chapters. And
I thought that was kind of a fun concept, to like, because again, we already knew they're dropping us in the middle of this universe where Green Lantern's here. Like, okay,
that's the game.
Like, just, I mean, the opening is genius, where it's like they were so smart because they hit us with like, 30 years ago, this mysterious thing shows up. It's a baby, blah blah, and then 3 years ago, shows up as Superman. 3 minutes ago, lost his first fight. And then we go into it, and we go into the trailer basically of Crypto dragging him through the snow, and then when the adventure begins, we see the Fortress of Solitude already, and I'm like, we're just here. I'm like, this people don't need to be babied. If you want to be babied, go watch the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeves, which I did when I got home, because I was like, it made me in the mood to watch the old. It has that vibe. It has that
music,
vibe.
Everything.
Oh my god, that's what that was half the crying for me, was just hearing the theme song playing. And the first time he flies. The first time he flies and goes, he's like, I gotta get back. I gotta get back into it. I gotta go. He's like, should you rest? I gotta get back. And it's something I got that made me love him more is, so the thing with Superman, he is the most unrelatable character ever. My planet didn't get blown up. My parents didn't put me in a pod and send me to Earth, and I wasn't raised by farmers. I can't fly. I don't have super strength. I can't jump a single building on a bound, race or train, but to me, the only like relatable, even Batman's not relatable either. He's just like, a rich guy that, the only like real, like relatable characters superhero-ized, it's always been like Spider-Man. Like Peter Parker always was relatable, because it's like balancing your work life with your family life, like I'm sure you know, with coaching football and being a content creator and like also being a family man, and like, you know, same thing with me. I'm doing my content and I got a family and all this or whatever. You know, that's always relatable. But seeing this movie was the first time I related to Superman, because of it's that interview with Lois when he has Lois interview him. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm like, man, this dude's going through, like, you know, it's just like a very human thing. The end when he says, you know, Lex, like he says, you're wrong. I'm as human as anybody else. I wake up with the same 2 feet, you know, in front of me or whatever, and dealing with the same problems and all this, and just trying to be a better person. We're like, shit, man, am I relating to Superman? Like, how? I never knew they would be able to do that. Like, have you relate to a character that is tough to relate to, which is being Superman. And one guy you got to relate to, we got to talk about it, is Lex Luthor. What did you think of this iteration of Lex?
Man,
the ultimate hater.
Shout out to Nicholas Holt. He was good. He was so good. Like, you got to see the smart side of him, saying I created a pocket universe, black holes and everything, and then him playing literally chess with, you know, what's the dude with the U? He's Bizarro, but anyway, you see him playing chess like B12, B4, you know, A9,
B1,
like all those things.
B1, B1.
Just keeps going.
Oh my god!
But all of that encapsulates his just genius, while also underlining his jealousy of Superman and how he knows he's brilliant, but he's not being appreciated as much as this guy who just stumbled upon the earth and is now wearing colorful, you know, pajamas and is saving the world, and everybody loves him. He's like, yo, I've been doing this for a minute and you guys just love him immediately. So seeing that jealousy, like, just pour through every action, every facial expression, every line was so good, man. It was so good. He was even funny, you know, dropping the mug on the floor on purpose so they have to pick it up and stuff like that. Like, so, I mean, he killed it. He was good. Like, he's going to be up there in regards to the best portrayals of Lex Luthor in any capacity, whether it's the Justice League animated series or the movies, obviously, or even the TV show, which, you know, Michael Rosenbaum might have something to say about that one from Smallville, but he was up there. He was right up there for sure.
Oh yeah. Like, I was not sold 100% till like towards the end. Is we're gonna jump around a lot, but like when Superman is captured and he's in there with I always forget, like Molecule Man or whatever his name is, Metamorpho. That cold scene of them bringing in the guy from the beginning who's like a shopkeeper that just knows Superman and plays Russian roulette trying to get information out of Superman and just kills the dude. And like, even he's kind of like, oh man, I didn't know that was going to go so quickly. And it gives you that extra shock, but also shows you Lex is not messing around. Like he will do anything to get Superman like dead or you know, ruined, or you know, like that was a real turning point for me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm bought in on Lex for sure. Because at first I'm kind of like, oh, he's kind of like, I don't know. He just seemed kind of like just a young snot-nosed kid to me, and he's just like, you know, the whole time he's hiding in his little fortress at Lex Tower, and just like doing everything from a computer with his little squad. But then when he gets down and dirty in that moment, I'm like, oh my god, like this is truly a good Lex. And even at the end, man, like when they finally are face to face for the first time in the same room, like and he's crying after getting beat up by Crypto, and he's just like, I hate this guy, and Superman is sitting there like this. and it's like, you can't beat me. And
Yeah.
he's just so pissed. You feel that anger for him. And it was just
that shot.
Oh my God, the shot. We could do a whole 3 hours about the shots in this movie.
Oh my cinematography. God. Oh my gosh. The camera does not stop. I love how much the camera moves in every stinking shot. There's no just sitting over the shoulder shot during dialogue. Like, there's movement in the action scenes. There's close-ups to portray more emotions. Like, I think his name was like Henry Braun or something like that, the cinematographer for Superman. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we could talk another like 8 hours just from the cinematography alone. But yeah.
Like the one that made me cry twice, even though I knew it was coming the second time, is when he first comes back to Metropolis, when Mrs. Terrific calls him in, and I'll talk about Mrs. Terrific in a minute, when the rift is splitting the buildings, whatever, and then like that building falls on the bridge. Now one woman is there with her car, and he catches, and then plays a Superman theme, which makes you cry. And then that shot of the smoke clearing and Superman just there, dun, 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 and I'm like, oh my God, like just like you could have did a silent movie with this, and like just with the imagery, and it was just like, it was just goosebumpy, man. It was just so good. Crazy Legs bringing me to my next point. Rachel Brosnan as Lois Lane. We were sold, I think, from the first image. When we saw her,
Marvel. Well, she killed it in what is it? Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Oh, Miss Maisel is amazing. I love that show.
Yeah, and so like I already knew. I was like, oh yeah, she's going to kill it. And I recency bias maybe. She might be the best Lois Lane outside of the animated series one.
That's what she reminded me of.
That's what animated. That's what I'm saying.
Like even like this, like because so that was one point I think I made when I first saw that she was casted because again of Mrs. Maisel being that period piece of like in like the 50s or whatever 40s, 60s. I don't even know what years it are, but like because Superman DC. Like the old school has a vibe.
Yeah.
Like even the Daily Planet in this movie, it has that vibe that I haven't felt in a long time. It feels like the animated series.
It does.
Even though it's very contemporary, because of course you got like people, we have that girl taking selfies and everything is over social media, Superman does not stay for selfies and stuff like that. So like it did that. It was very nice to kind of blur that line of like, it's very retro. Even Lex Luthor's goons with the turtlenecks, it felt very retro.
The clothing was retro, but everything else was highly modern.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Because it's kind of like the vibe. I mean, Fantastic Four, we don't know exactly yet what's going on with that. Is it the 60s? But there's technology. I don't know. But this, it just did a good job of like, it looks very contemporary with the buildings and everything. The city looks like New York. But it just had that retro vibe. Even the Fortress of Solitude looks like the one from the first movie. Like everything feels like James Gunn did such a good job of like kind of blurring those lines, because the suit, the Superman suit looks so colorful. Like
everything is bright. Everything.
Even Mr. Terrific, who's already kind of like he's always been like black and white, and like just kind of like but even he was like colorful and exciting. You know what I mean? Like they were all just so, everything was well casted. I think we did it. They did a spectacular job in that. But yeah, Lois.
Man, and what was so dope about all of that? Because like we even got Crazy Legs talking about Jimmy. It felt like everybody got to shine in some way, shape, or form, and it still didn't feel overcrowded. It still felt like a Superman movie. It just felt like, okay, yep, they belong here. Like we're coming into a new world, a lived-in world that's been existing, for however long, and we're getting to know these characters for the first time. But it's leaving. I just want to know more, but B, I feel like I already know these guys now, and I just can't wait to hang with them again. And so that balance that James Gunn was able to nail focusing on the main characters like Soups or Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Lex, while also giving us so many characters to latch on to and enjoy while not making it feel overcrowded. That was great writing, great pacing, and just great editing by a director who just knows this world and gave us a great uh first step into the new DCU, which, oh my gosh, I can't wait to explore more of.
Yeah, a good example of that, of like barely, showing up but having a lot of importance, were the Kents. Superman's parents. You had them for 5 minutes, maybe total, but that scene of Clark sitting on the bench with his dad,
eating cereal,
and they're
no
just
shoes on, barefoot.
Crypto's chasing cows. It's like, but like that scene, because which we'll talk about in a second. The origin change that James made, which I was like a little weird about, but I think you need to have that for this scene coming up, because it's Pa Kent sitting there like that line, which I don't know verbatim, but it's like, your parents are just here to give you the tools for what you need. You make your own path, which that hit me really hard. I was like, shit, man, like coming from parents that weren't born in this country and moved here, and they had a specific idea for me to I don't know, build houses or something or whatever, what I mean, but like to carve your own path and do something that's not traditional, which is such a message I feel like people need to hear these days. I mean, it's like your parents are not here to control your life. They're here to give you the tools to be able to go and form your own life. So that being said, you have that scene, but then you go back. James Gunn made this decision to make his Kal-El played by Bradley Cooper, which is a very big surprise. That was kind of fun. I forget who played his mom. I recognize her face, but I don't know her name.
Yeah, I forgot the actress name.
I don't remember her name.
I thought it was Lady Gaga for a second.
That would have been crazy. That would have been crazy. It was a reunion for the minds. But so for those who don't know, spoilers again, the change was, there's a message that was sent to him from Krypton to Earth that was it plays on halfway, but it gets corrupted, and then Lex and his cronies end up decrypting it, basically saying for Kal-El to go and find a new place, and sort of, if they don't respect you, overthrow them, basically. Superman's like, that's not why I'm here. For forever, I was told I was supposed to be good and protect everybody, and that is kind of a side note that helps Lex in his sort of situation where now he's had Metropolis and the world turn on Superman because they see this message from his parents. So I think I did research. I think that's been done somewhat in certain books. But how did you feel about that change?
So, I was okay with it because I grew up with it. I grew up with that, I guess, change in the origin of Kal-El, aka Clark Kent, aka Superman, and that's thanks to Smallville. When the first five seasons of Smallville, Clark is just like, no, I'm not going to do what you want me to do. There was signs and cave writings talking about somebody who's going to come and rule the world and everything like that. And so that wasn't that big of a jump. I was like, oh, we're doing the Smallville thing. I'm okay with that. Like, let's go. And since, James Gunn is like BFFs with Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor from Smallville, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, and it tied so well with, the overall message, like you referenced regarding to forming your own path. That's also something, because he talks about the decisions you make, is what makes you who you are. It's not what somebody tells you to do or what your parents told you to do. It's the decisions you make with the tools given by your parents or the ones who, raised you that make you who you are and allow you to form your own path. So, and with morality being the focus for the character overall, despite all the bad things that is happening around him and him failing constantly, I think that change in canon and his origin kind of elevated that theme that James Gunn was going for with the character. And I just thought it was good writing when he went that route, even though it's not canon, but I mean, it's a movie. You can change things. Like the MCU has changed so many things about the character.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I don't think it didn't take away from anything story wise, because at first I was kind of like, oh, is this going to be like a weird thing? Because I was like wondering what's going to turn these people against Superman, because everything else seems to be like, the world loves this guy. People are buying him hot dogs and stuff, and like they love him. So I'm like, what is going to be the change? But it didn't really like affect it too much, because shortly after he turned himself in, we get the whole thing where he's stuck and all that and escapes. And I don't think it took away too much, but it was an interesting it was an interesting choice to make on James Gunn's part.
It might set up even better what happens in Supergirl next summer, because it's based off of the Supergirl run. I think it was like a mini series, Woman's Tomorrow or whatever. And the difference between the two, even though they have the similar powers and everything, I think Kara's stronger actually. But anyway, the difference between the two is Kara, Supergirl, remembers how it was life on Krypton, and her whole thing in that series is her dealing with that loss and now having to find a new way of living. And she's drinking her way through that loss and suffering, kind of like, what they did in Thunderbolts with Yelena. But the new origin, or the reason why Kal-El was sent to Earth now, could tie into her character and the destruction of the planet overall. And so, because they were conquerors, this could be portrayed as Krypton was a planet of conquerors. We got a little bit of that even in Man of Steel, with Jor-El and Zod being like, yo, you were sent here to take over, to, make more of Kryptonians and stuff like that. And so that, I think that's going to be played throughout this whole story, not only with Kal-El, but also with Kara moving forward, which is going to be fun to visit for sure.
I would like to talk about the future a little bit, because again, we have already an established group of heroes here. Of course, we have Green Lantern, which was, oh my god, he was great. Hawk Girl, again, Miss Terrific, who like I was like I never thought they would do Miss Terrific that well, because it's like that's a character not a lot of people know about, and now he's in Fortnite, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? He's over. Everyone loves him now. But so with the Justice Friends, or whatever they're called right now, Justice Gang. Where do you think that is going? Do we think we're coming up on a new Justice League very soon? Is it more a Justice Society situation going on? Like, where do you think we're going to go from here? Because of course we already got, I think James Gunn already talked about, of course, Supergirl. I think we're going to have a Clayface movie, like horror movie.
That's going to be Elseworlds, just like the Batman.
So where do you think this world is going next, and who are you hoping to see show up next?
So,
hey guys, let me take a second to thank today's sponsor of today's video, Into the AM, a clothing company that prides itself on its awesome designs that help show off your inner nerd and provide crazy comfort. From graphic tees that actually stand out to premium basics and feel like a dream, to shorts, polos, you name it, Into the AM has you covered. They actually sent me a few of their products to try out, and I gotta say, I genuinely love how they look and how they feel. Super soft, super comfortable. And I usually hate how certain t-shirts look on me, but these really kind of form nicely to my body. No matter what your body shape, it just kind of fits well. But the best part here is you can save 10% off site-wide with our exclusive code Friggin Nerds. Just head over to the link in the description below and load up that cart and plug in Friggin Nerds at that checkout for instant savings. Style up, support the channel, save a little while you're at it, and look good doing it. Into the AM, check them out.
So I know we're getting in the next year Peacemaker season 2, Lanterns with Nathan Fillion returning as his character Guy Gardner or whatever.
Guy Gardner. Yeah.
Alongside Stewart in I forgot the other Lantern, the main one, Hal Jordan. And so
John Stewart looks awesome, by the way. Great casting.
Yes,
great casting.
Yes.
So good.
Yes. So I don't know if we're sure that Guy Gardner is going to be the Justice League one, because Hal is still around, and Jonathan Stewart is coming to his own after Lanterns. And so you have to pick between 3 Lanterns for Justice League. That's first and foremost. Is Supergirl part of the Justice League now? That's going to be a question as well. And there's been reports that they're fast tracking this Wonder Woman movie, which we know she's going to be a part of the Justice League. And we're still waiting to hear about Batman. So those are like your big ones that we know so far. No word about Flash. No word about Hawkman. Obviously, we have Hawkgirl. So I would like to see who's going to fill the role as Flash. That's a big one for me. And of course, Batman, because who's going to be that yang to Superman's yin? You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa.
That's the biggest question. It's the one
like, how are they going to do that?
Because the only Lee was the one that pointed this out to me. I didn't even notice it, but the only like little hint of Batman you get is when everything is going crazy and you see people leaving the city Metropolis. You see a highway sign that says Gotham City. And I'm like, let's go there. Let's go there. I want to see what's happening there. Where's Batman? Shouldn't he be helping out? Like, with this? But like that, that is the biggest question, is who is this Batman going to be? Because people are still obsessed with the idea of it being Pattinson. I'm like, it can't be.
Please, no,
it can't be.
Please,
it's got to be separate, because that would, imagine Robert Pattinson in the Superman universe. It wouldn't look good. It wouldn't look right at all. Like, you'd be making him goofy. Like, I'd rather see Ben Affleck come back and give it one more go. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather see or just give it to somebody. I'm telling you, I want that dude from Reacher. I want that dude.
I know, Alan Richardson or whatever.
He's built like a Batman, so we need that.
Smallville.
From Smallville. Yeah, like, come on. So I think that's like the biggest thing, because like people have been asking James Gunn about like what's going on with Batman. He's like, I can't say. He's like, he said, I don't even know what he's going to look like yet. He doesn't even know what he wants to do with it yet, because people are like, you're going to bring the gray and the blue in. You're gonna make him look like classics Batman a little bit. Like, where are you gonna go? Because I do think this version of DC, like James Gunn, he said something that made me really happy when he was talking in that same interview, because he mentioned the Clayface movie being horror, and he's like, I'm making different projects to keep people interested and not bored. Because you look at every Marvel thing, it's kind of the same. It's like, oh, hey, we're going to fight for a few minutes. It's funny, big trash portal in the sky. We're done for the day. So I like that he's going to be doing things. But so I wonder, is his Batman going to be the gritty Batman we all know these days, or is it going to go back to the more fun Batman of, like, say, I'm not saying Adam West, but like more comical and more like Golden Age Batman. So like I don't know which way he's going with that, and so but I think just what we saw so far with Hawkgirl and Green Lantern and Mr. Terrific, we're going through like a more colorful DC, which I'm happy with, and it's a fresh take, but at the same time he's doing different themes and feels for all these projects. So I don't know, what would you rather see with the Batman? You want a darker Batman, or do you want a light-hearted Batman?
It has to be dark. There's no other option. There is none. And even he said, I believe in that same interview, it's hard trying to figure out the balance between the two. Because we hadn't seen Superman yet when he did this interview, so we're like, what balance is James Gunn referring to when it comes to the Superman movie and getting this new Batman up and running? And I think the new balance is tone. The new balance is that he's going to have to deal with, and it's going to be hard for him, is the tone and the look. And those two meshing. Batman might look good, dark and everything, but if he's in Metropolis, how does that change your perspective on the character? Now, does he look silly belonging in there? But that can't be the case because he's a part of this team, i.e. the Justice League eventually. So you have to find a way where the Batman is dark in his territory while still having that darkness overshadow who he is. So that way you have that dichotomy between these two characters or three characters, which is the trinity of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So I think it has to be dark. It has to be. Gotham has to be a crap hole. Like, seriously, it has to be the most horrible place to live, which is why it's a testament to who Batman and Bruce Wayne is, that he continues to try and save it and fix it despite this place being a crap hole. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think he has to go dark. He has to.
It's got to have that balance, but like, it's so tough because James Gunn. See, the one thing I was really afraid of with the Superman movie too at first was, so I love James Gunn as a filmmaker. He's obviously the Guardians movies were some of the best things that ever came out of Marvel. Which, I never thought that I would say that when they first announced the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, you're gonna make a movie about this guy in space with the talking raccoon? Like, I thought I was the only person that knew who the Guardians were, and now you're making a movie about it? That's crazy. So I believe in James Gunn in that way, but I was like nervous that the comedy might overbear the story, because he has a habit of doing that, of like giving you an emotional moment but then putting in a funny punchline in the middle of it, like not giving us an opportunity to cry. You know what I mean? So, but I think he had a good balance there. So I think he definitely has the formula for a good balance. So that's why I'm like curious. I'm like, is he gonna have this Batman have like a little bit of fun, like a funny in it, you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, I don't want to. What's that?
You can do the dark comedy because, like, the Suicide Squad had like some dark humor to it. So I think he can do the comedy aspects with Batman. It's just got to be dark humor, like in the Batman, for example.
I know exactly what you're gonna say. The thumb drive.
Thumb drive.
The thumb drive. That always kills me. Thumb drive.
So he can do that with this version of the Batman that they're I guess getting inspiration from Batman Brave and the Bold. So you can do that, especially with Damian Wayne being a thing now. So you can have that dark comedy, but it can't be the same that we got in Superman, because to me, I think that was a weakness. I think that was a weakness in the movie, the comedy parts, for sure. Which we'll get into some of the stuff that didn't work for us. So yeah, I think you can do the comedy. It just has to be dark and less of it compared to Superman, because Superman is bright, funny, relatable and everything. At least this portrayal. And so just make Batman the opposite while still,
Yeah.
not having that, So
Yeah, you kind of it's kind of like Wednesday Addams with that girl that wears all the pink in the show. You know what I mean? Like they were like total opposites, and that's it. I mean, it's very easy to do that too with because the thing is what that I love about I think it's why Batman's one of my favorites of all time is because he's always been, like, for the most part, that dark character, and he's surrounded by colorful villains. Riddler, Joker, Two-Face, even, like, they're very charismatic and wacky characters. But Batman always stays the straight man. So I think I think that formula will always be there. But I wonder James Gunn will try to go retro and make it just a little bit, you never know where to put a bomb. I mean, Adam West flavor. I mean, the closer we got to, like, as much as people crap on it, like, Batman and Robin with George Clooney, they were just they were trying to make an Adam West-esque Batman movie because everyone's so used to, like, that's kind of the point I made at the beginning of the show, where it's like I feel like we've lost the Boy Scout Superman for a while because it was always very dark tones. So now that we're seeing this, like, kind of Boy Scout Superman, we're like, oh, we're not used to this. You know what I mean? So I think,
and I mean, the Nolan trilogy has something to do with that because Nolan was the executive producer on Man of Steel as well. And so, like, they thought this was a good route to go. And you also have to remember the Arkham trilogy had started when Batman Begins, that came out also around like 2006 or 2009. And so everything was just dark, dark, dark. The only levity we got, at least out of DC, outside of certain comic runs for certain characters, was Justice League, or Justice League Unlimited, that I think has done the best when it comes to that balance of levity and seriousness with a kids show, but is relatable to adults. Like, and even James Gunn has said he's pulled a lot of stuff from those cartoons, like Justice League Unlimited and everything, because it did such a good job with the characters and their portrayal of the characters, but also as a unit and how they mesh. So we have examples of the two dichotomies of the characters and their perspectives and the tones kind of meshing together just from those shows. So all he needs to do is just pull from that. But please, for the love of God, James, like, I know you're watching. Do not make Batman funny. Please don't do that.
Yeah. You got to have that certain, again, balance. But yeah, let's come back to Superman here, and we talked a lot of positive. I think we really love this movie either way, but I'm sure we both have some negative things to talk about. It wouldn't be a Friggin' Nerd show without some negative roasting of something. So I'll let you kind of take the start here. What were some things you would have taken off here?
So chat and Mario, I'm torn. I've seen this movie 3 times, and I'm torn. I have James on the one hand, whose movie experience was fun. I smiled every time I left the theater. I laughed. I cried every time, even though these scenes were coming. I cried. I cheered. I got hyped. I had the same emotions 3 times every time I watched it, and I knew they were coming. But then I'm over here, James, who loves cinema and movie making process and how movies come together and the awards that coincide with the making of a movie, like the Oscars, Golden Globes, and Screen Actors Guild. And I think as an experience, great movie, just fun experience, especially in IMAX, especially in a good crowd. As a movie as a whole, I think it's very weak. The writing is good. The character portrayals are great. And even some of the script writing was good, But the decisions to undercut a lot of emotional scenes with comedy for example, you talked about it earlier when Superman is in his room, suit jacked up. He's about to talk to Lois Lane, and you see that glowing thing in the back. And they're supposed to be having a serious conversation. He's dealing with his whole life motto and the reason he does what he does every day gone. Like it was a facade. His parents really didn't feel this way. They wanted him to rule everything, and he's trying to convey this to his girlfriend, who they're struggling right now as in a relationship. There's a lot of emotional stuff, and it's undercut by the Justice Game, which was funny. Fighting and Green Lantern hammering this glowing thing in the back, and like yes, and, like it was funny, but like he's about to turn himself in. Everything he's built his life on is a lie from his biological parents. How that should be an emotional and character defining moment right there. This is where he's at his lowest. And we're undercutting it with some comedy, which was funny, I will admit, because I laughed. But you're undercutting that. The same with at the end, he's given a great speech to Lex. Like, hey, I try my best. I put my pants on and I go out and try to do the best I can. And that's what makes me human. Great speech. And he's talking to Lex and even encouraging Lex Luthor. Bro, you can be that person too. And then Crypto comes in and pulls the Hulk to Loki. Boom, boom, slammer it. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, we had that one powerful emotional part. Obviously, you talked about with Pa Kent and Clark Kent. And that was great because it wasn't cut. But I think you could have had a lot more of those, especially since we're getting to know him. And so some of those James Gunn isms I didn't like, but it was still enjoyable because I laughed every time when those things were undercut. I laughed when Crypto messed with Lex, and again, the other scene with the Justice Gang while he and Lois are talking. So that's one thing. And then the other one was I didn't feel like you needed to depower Superman in order to make him relatable. Coming from the comics, I related to Superman because his will to strive to do the right thing every day when people are scared of him because of how powerful he is, when people are cheering for him and he feels like he might fail somebody. Every single one of us here watching, whether it's live or replay, have had those feelings of, I want to do my best because I don't want to let anybody down. And that's what Clark, aka Superman, deals with every time he goes to save somebody. He always feels like it's never enough because there's trouble happening everywhere. And so I don't think him struggling needed to be as prevalent with the character because we've had since 1940s, 1950s of this character doing good and it's still being relatable. There's a reason this character has lasted so long. And the reason we love him is not because he's relatable because he gets his butt kicked. He's relatable because he strives to do the right thing every day. And there's always something in the way of you trying to do the right thing. There's always something in the way of us trying to do our jobs. There's always something in the way of us trying to be who we are and people blocking that. Superman is Superman. Superman is powerful. Superman loves the human race and he wants to serve and help them. And there's people like Lex Luthor, the villain, and even the U.S. government stopping him from doing that. That's relatable, especially when we talk about government. That's relatable nowadays. And I don't think you need to depower him to do that. And I didn't like that at all.
Yeah. I think I agree with that too. There were a few moments where I feel like this is Superman. Why is he struggling here with this? Like I felt like as much as I love Crypto, I think Crypto was a highlight. You know, it made I always It reminds me of our dog, Bo. It's like if Bo had superpowers, he would be like this. He'd be crashing through windows and eating milk bones and being a menace, But I felt like Superman really relied on him a lot, especially in that end scene where it's like, he's helping fight. He's Ultraman. We'll call him Bizarro. He's gonna. They're setting that up. Bizarro. He went to Bizarro World. He's coming back as Bizarro. But yeah, I felt like a lot of it's like, okay, he really is kind of leaning on others to help, which is great. But at the same time, like, that's Superman. You know what I mean? Yeah. He doesn't need that much help. So yeah, I agree with on that end. But like, yeah, it's but still very relatable. Like but I agree with you with that sort of James Gunn humor being in the way of certain scenes, because that scene is very important.
Very important.
When he says, like, it choked me up when because he's like, they're like, oh, should you be helping them out? They're like, they're fine. I was busy looking for the dog, and it's like, why? It's like, why do you care about the dog so much? And it's like, I know, it's like, he's not even my dog, and he's not even a good dog, but he's out there, he's scared, probably. Scared. I'm like, that's Superman.
Oh my god, yes,
that's Superman. Like,
and you undercut it with
bong. Because in IMAX, all I hear is bong, very very lightly in the background of him banging on the thing, and I'm like, I'm just trying to listen to what Superman is saying. I may have ADHD because I was watching that while having this important conversation. And I'm like, it was because even like, and same thing with the interview with when Lois is interviewing in the beginning, you know what I mean? Because it gets kind of hairy when he's like, that line from the trailer when he's like, people were going to die.
He kills it. Brosnahan carries that scene.
Good. Oh yeah, so good. Yeah. But you saw that mixture of like, they keep stopping the recorder and like Superman's like, which button do I hit? Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, just, it's just, which it works in certain scenes. Cause like, again, now that was the relatableness. Like, I feel like I was having a fight with my girlfriend. You know what I mean? It's like, that felt like a very human interaction. But sometimes you toss too much comedy. It could be too much, but I don't think it took too much away from everything. But my other kind of complaints is I do feel like again, we don't need to have all the origin story in the world here, but I would like a little more here and there. Like I feel like Lois and Clark have been dating for like 3 months, right? And you see and that again, that scene's important too with the fight outside, because it's the first time he says I love you to her.
Right.
And that is insane because and then we get the cell later where she says I love you too, finally. But then but it's like, so they're dating for like 3 months. They're like they haven't been together for super long, but you have that scene of Lois is meeting his parents for the first time, and it's very awkward and quick because hey, he's out. We need to get him healed up, but hey, by the way, I'm Martha. Hi, I'm Lois. It's very awkward situation. So you guys are meeting for the first time, so I feel like we need a little more character development on that. Again, it's like you only have like maybe 7 minutes of screen time with the Kents, but like there, I wanted a little more for that. And I think my only other complaint really was like, I don't know, I was really on the fence about that thing with his pet with Kal-El, with the parents, like in the switcheroo of like him, like finding out what the real message was. And I'm like, you probably could have take it or leave it. You probably didn't need that to happen. Because yes, it's very effective again with what Pa Kent says later, and it makes it interesting to have Metropolis turn on Superman, but it kind of it doesn't feel like that big of a issue for Superman, because right after that he kind of turns himself in, it's whatever, and then when he comes back, everyone loves him again, even before they trick Lex and they get him the information. But it just kind of was, it felt awkward to me, and it felt like it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
But but there's little
Yeah.
things you need, because you're like, okay, how did Lex get into the Fortress of Solitude? We find out later it's because he cloned Superman. We're like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Which that was a story beat from like the fourth movie, I think. I'm like, that was kind of cool to do that. I'm like, holy shit, they're gonna do Bizarro. I'm like, thank God.
Oh my gosh, I have to ask you this, because there was a couple of people in my screening. I want to say the first time we went Tuesday. When we see Ultraman take his mask off and the long hair is revealed, for a split second, I thought it was Henry Cavill. For a split second, with the long hair and the shadows and the way the lighting was, and multiple people agreed with me in the when we were walking out. You're like, yeah, I thought it was Henry Cavill too. Did you have that at all, or you saw Corn Sweat?
Actually, what I thought it was in my head, I almost was going to say it to my brother-in-law, but I didn't want to. I was like, good thing I didn't say it, because I would have sounded stupid. For a second, I thought it was Supergirl.
Oh,
imagine if they introduced Supergirl that way, where like somehow Lex was able to control her or something. That would have been insane if they did that. I would have,
as the opposite version of Superman.
I would have cried.
This movie's the opposite movie of Man of Steel.
I think that would have been insane. But at the same time, people would be like, "Oh, here we go again." You know what I mean? Don't get our hopes up. But like that would have been. But as soon it's a small detail, but they give Corn Sweat like a lazy eye in there, and I'm like they're gonna do Bizarro. I'm like, because I joked to my brother-in-law and my friend Andrew, I'm like, yo, if they do Bizarro in this movie, I'm gonna stand up and applaud. And I didn't stand up and applaud. I'm like, it's not Bizarro yet technically, so I can't get too excited. But yeah, when that would have been. But yeah, split sec. I was like, the whole time, I'm like, I know to deal with Ultraman a little bit, but I'm like, it's someone special in there. I was thinking maybe they're gonna do Bizarro, because as soon as you see him shoot the laser eyes, he still has the helmet. I think they're in the baseball field fighting.
Yep.
And I'm like, maybe Lex cloned him, but like how? And they do the same thing from Superman 4, I think it is, where he just finds a strand of his hair and he clones him. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, that makes sense. I'm like, that's how you got into the Fortress of Solitude. I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's something to do with Ultraman. I'm like, that's crazy. But like, that would have been exciting. Henry Cavill somehow doing something.
Because he looked just like Henry Cavill from The Witcher, minus the blonde hair. Like, because that's one of the only, I want to say, movies or even TV shows he's done that I've seen him with long hair. And so I felt vindicated when other people were saying it out of the movie theater. So I was wondering if you saw it, but you said you saw Supergirl, so that's
for a split second I thought it was blonde hair. Because when I saw the long hair, and I was like, because right away my head is spinning. I'm like, who could this be? Who has long hair? I'm like, what could it be? And then when it was a clone of him, I'm like, interesting. And then making him look a little fucked up, like with the lazy eye. And he even makes Lex makes a comment like, he may be stupider than you. And I'm like, wow, that's Bizarro. That's crazy.
They're going for it.
So I'm like, I'm excited they're gonna, like, it shows that they are going to do more insane Superman stories. I'm excited about that, because I would love to see Bizarro and Superman fighting again, and actually make him look like Bizarro. But like, Henry Cavill would have been an insane freaking pull.
Right.
But I think the biggest, speaking of cameos, I guess we can kind of talk about this. John Cena as Peacemaker.
I know.
This was sort of the last piece of the Snyderverse, because in Peacemaker, spoilers, I haven't seen it all, but like, I know the Justice League show up at the end of it. Spoilers for Peacemaker. So I guess now Peacemaker just exists in this version of the DC. I'm sure he's going to explain it in season 2. But what are your thoughts on that? On Peacemaker being like now a James Gunn DC universe character?
Yeah, so like I think I remember him saying there were certain characters that were coming over from the DCEU, the DC Expanded Universe. And I knew Peacemaker was one of them. I didn't think I'd see him in the movie, but I knew he was coming. And I know Amanda Waller, played by what's her name from How to Kill or whatever. I forgot her name.
She's from Rhode Island too.
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis.
Yeah.
There it is.
I know she's coming back as Amanda Waller as well, and she was obviously introduced in the DCU with Suicide Squad, with Will Smith and Margot Robbie's introduction as their characters. So I knew there was going to be some hangover.
She was in the other one too, right? Was she in the Gunn one too? That's right.
Yep, she was in the Gunn one as well. My question has always been, how are they going to explain it? Like, how are they going to explain any of the events that's happened, is not only just in season 1, but in season 2? We get a cameo, but is he going to be a part of any upcoming movies? Obviously, he's not going to be in Supergirl because that's more of a space globe, universal hopping adventure, especially with you got Lobo in there. And so I'm okay with it if it's explained in a way that makes sense and allows the transition to be smooth coming over. So James Gunn has always done good with writing, and I think he's going to do a great job. Peacemaker has always been his baby. It was like his first big baby after doing the Suicide Squad with WB. So I think he's going to take care of it. I know his wife has a huge presence on the show as well. And so I think it'll make sense, and we'll see what happens. But I was okay with it because I knew it was coming. I just didn't expect to see him in the movie. That was a cool cameo. Everybody kind of like, whoa.
Yeah, everyone started laughing. And we're like, whoa, no way. A part of me was like, just do like the J.K. Simmons thing where he just plays the same character because nobody else could do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's all. Like, because you have so much explaining to do. Because again, he made a Suicide Squad movie. Where's Harley Quinn? Like, is Margot Robbie still going to be Harley Quinn? Is Idris Alba still going to be Deadshot or whatever? Is like, you have so much to explain. Just be like, hey, they're still on my payroll. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, James Gunn had, like Bradley Cooper was they're just showing up. You had a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy alumni in there. I'm sure Dave Bautista will show up as like Martian Manhunter or something. You know what I mean? Like he always has those certain people that show up. So like, I'm like okay with it, like kind of just being not explained, and it's like, we just have him here and let's just move on because it's a new universe. Again, I think people need to understand that it's a new universe. We're starting over. Like, we don't have the same people playing everything. You know what I mean? We have a new Superman, obviously. We have a new Batman potentially, and we already saw our new Green Lantern. So it's like we're just moving on, and I think it's great. But speaking of WB, I noticed this. Did you notice there's no WB shield in this movie?
Yeah.
It opens up just animated Superman breaking out of the chains. No WB logo. I thought that was because everyone's like, oh man, this movie better save WB. I'm like, WB is an afterthought in this movie. Yeah. They were like, we're giving you the DC badge and we're starting the adventure.
Yeah.
I thought amazing. It was such a good flick.
That was because you got the whole like MCU Marvel like thing and showing like different scenes from all their movies before you get to like the clean title right at the beginning. And I really appreciate how simplistic they did the DCU tag with just Superman on one side, old school Superman, and then they flip it to DC and then boom, go right into the movie. So
I hope they do that with every hero. I hope they do like
just do Wonder Woman,
Green Lantern, all of them. Just do like the classic, because even like that's what I appreciated with on the other side of the lake with Marvel, with Spider-Verse, they would always put the little comic thing at the beginning, like the little badge from the books. I'm like, just keep it simple. Like I appreciate the whole MCU showing everything that we've done for the last 70 years or whatever. But like, just keep it simple. Remind people that we're gonna go watch a comic book movie.
The comic authority thing in Spider-Verse just I just glow because I was like, thank you.
Yeah, you feel seen. You feel seen.
Bro.
You're like, this is how it should be done.
Yes, and it's like, and even like, I know a lot of people are saying this is one of the more comic book movies, and I felt that, which is why I enjoyed it so much. Because even you talked about the opening crawl, like it's not even like a crawl. It's just text, one scene in Antarctica. 3 centuries ago. We discover our first metahuman. Another scene, another text. What was it, like 30 years ago? We get this spaceship landing on Earth, and it is playing with the thing of threes, which I was like, because he'd be doing like the Trinity thing with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So I was just like, threes being like the number was very interesting, but it felt like a comic splash, like a little box in the top that you would normally see when you're reading a comic book. And even how the world is like, there's some wacky things going on. We have a kaiju that just grows out of nowhere, and the city is acting normal. We have spaceships.
Yeah, they're just sitting at like the Daily Planet that's having a conversation, and there's like, and it's, I mean, same thing with the glowing goo ball in the sky.
Yes.
They're like, it's just like, it's just typical. Like Metropolis is so used to this shit happening every week,
and I love that because it feels like a comic book that you're being introduced to that's already lived in. And so like all of the comic booky stuff I enjoyed, because comic books, especially Superman, are kind of whimsical, are kind of just like, wait, what? Sci-fi in a way. And so like I really appreciated that aspect of the portrayal of this world that we're stepping into for the first time. And so I really love that about this movie, and why I want Dark Knight or whatever Batman Brave and the Bold needs to be more grounded to separate it, because when you read a Batman comic book, it's not as fantastical until he links up with the superheroes. Or when you read a Superman comic book, it's pretty fantastical because you got Brainiac, you got Chameleon, you got all of these characters like Lex who are pulling Lobo, like coming from everywhere to challenge Superman because they hear he's the most powerful being in the universe and stuff. So like, I love that the city's used to it, and like, it's just done so well. And this is how you start a universe. This is how you jumpstart a cinematic universe in a way, without having to do like Marvel did with Iron Man and Thor and everything, and going into Avengers. This felt like an Avengers movie more so, because a lot of people are saying they felt like it was like a Spider-Man 1 or 2 vibes, which I can see a little bit, but to me overall, just with how fantastical and like grandiose it was, it felt like Avengers to me for sure, especially the third act with the battles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally spraying down with his heat vision thousands of the raptors from
Lex they're all piling up on the street,
just coming down, so like, yeah, that's an Avengers type thing for me, not Spider-Man for sure.
But speaking of Spider-Man, I mean, that's a thing too with this movie. Like, people always talk about, like, Spider-Man 3 iconically was the worst of those 3 movies because there was too much happening, because the studio wanted Venom to be a thing, and Raimi's like, we don't need Venom, but like, no, they want Venom, and so we had too many cooks in the kitchen. But this movie had a lot of things going on, but it was so paced like simply it was like, you know, it's like, yes, we have the story of the Justice Gang and their thing, and like, you know, because I mean, my God, you want to talk about crying like a baby when those kids are holding up that Superman flag, and then everybody starts and like Superman, I was crying, but like it hit me when Green Lantern saves the kid. And he's like, sorry, kid, Superman couldn't make it, but you got a total upgrade. And he starts doing the middle fingers up from the ground. But it's like, man, it's like it was just a balanced way to do it all, because you had so many characters, but everybody had their moment to shine. And like again, Mr. Terrific was
he stole it.
Oh my God! Like
he stole the movie.
Like insane. Like, man, like that scene of he was the Batman of the movie. Like that's the tone of Batman I can kind of see happening. It's like where he's like a smart guy, but he's also got like a little quip here and there. Like, man, I love that scene of like I can help you with the code. And he pushed the guy away. I'm goddamn Mr. Terrific, and he starts doing a thing. Like just so everybody had their, because I was like, you know, I know about Mr. Terrific, but I was like, that wasn't what I was excited about. But I left the theater a bigger Mr. Terrific fan because of that, because he was just so awesome, and everybody had their moment to shine, and like that's how you do it. MCU, they gotta take notes, I think, after this movie came out, because I'm excited for Fantastic Four, but they gotta sell me, man. They gotta bring me back next week when it comes out. I hope so, man, because that's the one movie I'm like, I need to do well, because I love the Fantastic Four, and I love Superman, and I think we're back. I like that people like DCU. They could finally join us, James.
Finally,
welcome in. You know what I mean? We've been trying, because we've been waiting for so long for just a good DC project, and I think we're finally there, and like, you know, we're excited to see what's to come. I like the end. We got 2 after credit scenes that this didn't matter. We got a comic book cover with Crypto hugging Superman, and we got a fun little tiff between Mr. Terrific, Superman saying, I'm such a dick for commenting on your fixing the building. He's like, what, we want me to take this thing apart and put it back together again? You know what I mean? So
no, like, it just it feels good, and I hope Fantastic Four kind of keeps momentum. I think it will. I'm pretty sure it will. At least I believe so, based on the recent clip of them showing them meeting Galactus for the first time, and why he's his terms. So they're like, hey, we're trying to bargain with you. Like, hey, what can we do to prevent you from eating our world? And you find out he wants Nathan.
I would like to see the baby. He's like an intergalactic fat bastard. He's like, you keep the formula and I take your baby. But
if they go that route, I was like,
I was, because I knew that, like, I knew they were gonna have the baby in the movie. I was like, oh man, but I'm like, are they gonna go that route on the first movie? I'm like, because especially because you saw Thunderbolts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way that ends. Let's talk about that for a minute before we go, because do you think so? My theory, they lose. Galactus succeeds.
Yeah, they have to.
He succeeds, but they escape and they come to our world.
Yeah.
So do you think that they're all there? Do you think it's all 4 of them in there?
I think,
because some people saying that it's like just half of them. Some people saying it just Reed, and like he because I had a wacky theory. I had a really wacky theory. He figured out interdimensional travel, but you know what he's never figured out? Time travel. You know who's figured out time travel? Tony Stark.
They did.
Let's go look for Tony Stark. Hey, is Tony Stark here to help me figure out time travel so we can save my family? No, he died like 10 years ago. Oh, well, what if we try to find him?
Victor Von Doom.
And Victor Von Doom shows up. That's not Iron Man. That's Doctor Doom. That's my. I'm just thinking like Kevin Feige. I feel like that's how Kevin Feige would think. He would do something. He would do something goofy like that.
And that would fit the supposed after credit leaked for Fantastic Four, where you just see a guy in a hood who's everybody thinks is Doom taking the baby. And so, well, Franklin, Richards. So that could, because in time runs out in the comic books leading up to his Secret Wars, Reed is the only one that technically survives. That he was able to save. He wasn't able to save everybody else out of Fantastic Four. It was just him. And so the big fight between him and Doom makes sense because Doom was able to save Sue, Franklin, Valeria, and even Ben and Johnny. And so you might be onto something, Mario, just based off of how the comics have portrayed that and what we know is happening with Franklin and how the Thunderbolts end. And I think you could be onto something.
I'm just trying to make this Doctor Doom thing make more sense, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, how are they going to do this? Then when that scene happened, I'm like, because
they can't do the Molecule Man thing.
No,
they can't. They can maybe use Franklin or Loki as a way to make Battle World, when all the incursions are happening. Maybe they can use Loki or the Time Variance Authority and do it that way. But I think that's plausible for sure.
Because I mean, that's the thing. Like, we don't know who's on that ship. I think people assume it's the whole team. But I'm like, having it be just Reed, and he's like, I got to find a way to save them, and the only person I can think of that could do that is Tony Stark, but Tony Stark's not here anymore, and he's too busy playing Doctor Doom. So it's like you got to, because I don't care what you say, Reed Richards has to lead the new Avengers. He's the smartest man in the world. You don't have Tony Stark anymore, so like what a better equal. You know what I mean?
They'll probably have Captain. They'll probably have Falcon be the leader still, but Reed has to play a pivotal role in all of this, and at least saving the ones who are make it to Secret Wars after Doomsday, and reversing what happened with the incursions and what Doom has did on Battle Worlds. Like, he has to be the one that figures it out. So, gosh, I can't believe it comes out next week. That's crazy.
Yeah, right. It's like, it's already here. Like,
I'm still like trying to process Superman still. I'm like, it's an 8.5 experience, but as a movie, it's like 7.5 maybe. And so I'm just like, I'm trying to process it because I loved it so much, especially the inner comic book person in me. But and now I'm like, I don't have time because I gotta go get tickets to see.
And it's like you don't have a chance. But so 8.5 is your Superman score?
As an experience.
I think I'm on the same boat with you too. It's like it's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect except for Spider-Man 2. That's a perfect movie.
Except for Spider-Man 2 and Across the Spider-Verse.
And Across perfect
and
movies.
Forrest Gump.
And Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump,
and Nutty Professor 2, the Clumps. But yeah, I think I'm on the same boat because again, it's like it was such a heartwarming experience and just feel good, and in the state of the world now, I think we definitely need this movie. And I know like a lot of people were like, oh, it's so woke and all that. My brother, he wrote this movie. He wrote this movie a long time ago. He's had this in the can for a minute, I'm sure. But no, it's just like the movie we needed right now. It's just so feel good. It makes you feel like a better person. person. And again, everywhere I see, I've been seeing posts of people making like digital art and stuff like, punk rock is the new kindness, or kindness is the new punk rock. And that is absolutely the message that was trying to be conveyed. It's like, just be kind to each other. We need kindness in this world. And so I think 8.5 all around. Chat, if you guys agree. If you guys haven't seen the movie, please go see the movie. Please
go support this movie. So
it is
get more of it.
That's good. I think it's good. I think we're gonna get plenty more. I think they definitely they hit their quota for sure. I don't even know what the budget was for the movie, but I'm sure they smashed it out of the park.
I think it's because Variety had put out, I think it was on Facebook, they had put out like a chart of where they spent the most money and everything. So I think it was like a total just production budget was only like 220, 225, which they've made globally, I think, right already. And so then marketing is like over a little over 100 million, and then like I know James Gunn got 15 million for it because this Hulk got 2 million, and both Rachel Brosnahan and Horn Sweat, they both got like 750,000 in regards to like the expenses. And so that evens out like, just over, maybe 130 million with marketing, maybe with marketing being like over 120 something. So if that's the case, then they're probably going to break even by this weekend, by the end of this weekend.
Oh yeah.
If not go over it, like
it still just came out. Like it's still gonna make moves, and people like I've not seen a lot of negative talk. I mean, a few idiots that are saying it's too woke, but like other than that, everyone agrees that this is a very good film and a good start for the DCU. I think we're finally here. It took us many years to wait, but hey, it happened. We are here. But chat, that basically does it, man. 8.5 both sides here. You guys also got a nice little bonus Fantastic Four prediction show. That was exciting. I'm sure we'll get back together for Fantastic Four, because that's another because we're back into Superman season, superhero season, because I feel like it's been like, I mean, Thunderbolts was fine, Captain America was fine, but it's like we've been kind of like not much happening lately. So it's like I think now we can get back into the mood of talking shop again. So I mean, here we are. If you guys want it, you guys let us know. We will talk about superheroes all day long. But yeah, if you guys missed this will be up on YouTube for you guys later to check out for our full thoughts here. So be sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff and all that good stuff. So yeah, I think with that being said, I think we're gonna get on out of here. So as always, I've been Friggin Nerd Mario.
I haven't said this in a while. I've been Friggin Nerd James.
And as always, stay friggin' nerdy. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.